he's on top of the situation. He knows what's going on. And while we've been having this conversation, we're talking about Joe Biden, the President of the United States, compared to, but it isn't just the comparison. It's about what he brings to the table. Years of experience, depth of knowledge that is, again, very deep, breadth of experience that serves us well, beauty of his judgment and his vision for our country. I tell you, I care about this country so much.
What is up? My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back. This, of course, is the epicenter for all of your current and captivating coastal elite chaos. So please hit that subscribe button, like the video, ring the notification bell, leave a comment or two, share this with a friend. Let's go.
Here is President Biden speaking. Let's take a listen.
You guys didn't report. I'm winning. Five in a row. You guys only look at the New York Times. They're a great paper.
All right, so Biden says he's up in the polls. Fine, whatever. Polls are probably fake. And if you needed a poll to tell you what's going on at this point, we got a completely different problem. But all that aside, this media landscape has created a completely false reality constructed from confiscated guns and forced pharmaceuticals and discarded dicks and tits from all the amazing gender-affirming care foisted upon kids across the country. There are so many levels to this, and I'm here to say you cannot run from the truth forever. There is just no way things can go on like this, and the State of the Union, depending on when you're watching this video, may be coming up soon, may have just happened, maybe it happened years ago, but either way, it's somewhere around here, and I have these two viral clips that I think we've all seen by now, but it's worth rewatching and making the point that...
So I made sure you guys got your chicken, your orange soda, or a Kool-Aid, if that's what you're into. Oh, I'm really sorry that Jill forgot the watermelon and hot sauce. Listen, I absolutely love the blacks, especially when you people vote for me and not Trump.
I don't think that was it. That might have been AI. I'm going to need an expert fact checker to weigh in. But here we go. From MSNBC, hugely viral video. I think we all saw it at this point in time, but there is an elephant in the room. I'll just get it out of the way. This rhetoric, this line of white rule rage does not work with literally any other group. They would not be able to publish a book, promote a book. They would have to do it all on pen and paper to make this type of thing happen with any other group. And I think you'll also notice that the two gentlemen who wrote this book have something else in common, but I think you're not really supposed to notice it because they have so much... No, you're not supposed to notice it because they have no power at all in the media or banking or real estate or really anything. And if you notice any of that stuff, it's basically because you're Hitler reincarnated. And the vitriol that you will see here that I'm sure you've seen, but we're going to watch again, the vitriol here is absolutely astonishing.
Barrel toward a likely rematch of the 2020 election. One candidate continues to have a hold over white rural voters. But it's not Joe Biden, seen here as a boy on the right side of your screen who went to public school, is the son of a used car salesman, and was born to a middle-class family in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Instead, it is...
This is wild, like North Korea, Russia level propaganda. Oh, well, Joe Biden, he was such a... This makes it almost worse, right? If Bo Biden was such a modest guy coming up and now he's a completely corrupt empty suit hack, that makes it look a lot worse than Donald Trump, big scary orange man, who was a millionaire before he was 10 years old and still has done more for the American people than Bo Biden could ever hope to do.
Trump, here on the left side, a private school educated son of a New York City real estate tycoon who became a millionaire at 8 years old and didn't have to serve.
And doing business over the past 50 years in the private sector, only to have Tish James tell us that doing business in New York as Donald Trump is completely illegal and you owe us $600 billion trillion.
Because he claimed he had bone spurs in his little feet. So
the smugness of these people is absolutely through the roof. I don't understand. They must know this.
why is it that Trump appeals so much to a group he couldn't be more different from? Joining us now, professor of political science at the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
Oh, okay. So we have these two academic coastal elite liberals.
But before I start tonight, I just wanted to read a brief statement that I prepared. I denounce anti-Semitism in all its forms. And I stand with my friends in the Jewish community. And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time.
Of a certain persuasion.
I could see if you had some kind of issue, you know what I mean? You might go out to Hollywood and your mind might start connecting some kind of lines, and you could maybe adopt the delusion that the Jews run show business. It's not a crazy thing to think, but it's a crazy thing to say out loud in a climate like this.
All three of these people are white. They're big, scary white people telling you that they're the good guys, but it's the white people in the middle of the country that are bad. And they specifically use the term rural, because what they mean to say is poor. Look at those poor people in flyover country. How disgusting and despicable are they? And they can't really go that far, so they stick with the word rural. Those are smelly people in Kentucky, in Idaho, or West Virginia. Those people are terrible, and they are the reason that we are likely going to lose in the 2024 election unless we do an astronomical amount of cheating.
Baltimore County, Tom Schaller, and journalist and opinion writer Paul Waldman. Their new book, out tomorrow, is entitled White Rural Race.
Tom Schaller and Paul Waldman, they don't care for Trump. In fact, they hate Donald Trump, and they hate the people who like Donald Trump.
The threat to American democracy. And Tom, we'll start with you. Why are white rural voters a threat to democracy at this point? You would think, as we pointed out, looking at Joe Biden's background and Donald Trump's, that the opposite would be true.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this. So we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They're the most...
That's false. I don't have the book. I didn't read the book, but I can almost guarantee you there are no receipts for this because it's just not true. You just made it up. You're juking the numbers. You're lying with statistics. Bill Gates taught us how to do that.
Racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism, and scientific skepticism.
Yeah, bro. I definitely trust these two guys. They really care about the country, and they're mad at the large majority of the country because they're so rural, and they're conspiracy, and they're racist. And Mika here, the MSNBC CIA talking head lady who was literally made famous. Well, she's been famous for many years, but a viral clip of her from a couple years ago saying, it's our job to tell the people what to think.
The dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah.
But that aside, I digress. She asked them, why is this demographic so dangerous to democracy? And then he replies, oh, well, they're racist and homophobic and bigoted. I mean, all the things that you, talking head lady, all the things that you've said for the last 6 or 8 years, Those are the reasons why. That's exactly why. We just took all of your talking points and put it into a book, and then she says, "Oh yeah, that's an amazing book. I can't wait to read it." But who is this for? And I say that a lot, but very seriously, truly, who is this for? Do the folks over at MSNBC think that large swaths in middle America, they just don't have YouTube? They can't watch a YouTube video? They don't have MSNBC? They can't tune into this? Why are you eliminating a huge portion of people that might be watching your show and calling them idiot rubes, right? I mean, this is for the last vestige of MSNBC brainwashed boomers. This is for a girl with green hair in Williamsburg. It's probably not even for her because she's so far to the left. She's rabid about the sun monster and freeing Palestine. So who is this actually for, bro?
Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse.
So you mentioned
this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And I constantly go back and forth whether this is evil or incompetence, right? Like, do they actually believe this and they're just stupid, or is this highly manipulative? And I don't know. I mean, these are grown men, so I'd have to imagine they know better. But I think he genuinely believes this stuff, and I don't know which is worse.
There's just a rule, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
All right, enough of those guys, the gatekeepers of America, telling you that the white rule of order is a conspiracy theory. Oh, they've already concocted a plan of who to blame for when they can't cheat enough, the reason why the Democrats don't win in 2024. But here, once again, from MSNBC, they are angry because some guy on Fox News said that black people might like Trump's sneakers. So that's incredibly racist. That is a bridge too far. He should be removed from TV. And you can see on the screen there, just barely, it says what they really think. So when Biden said, "Vote for me," or "You ain't black," when they trotted out an old man in a woman's army dress telling you that the weather is racist, when they trotted out, lollipop head Al Sharptongue to tell you, to literally shame people into voting for Biden, when you got guys like Andrew Gillum and Van Lathan and D.L. Hughley quite literally saying, they've got to be on the payroll, but when they are literally suggesting that you don't have a choice and that you are an Uncle Tom if you even entertain the idea of thinking outside of the Democrat plantation, none of that's racist. That's all okay. But when a Fox News contributor says that black people might like Trump shoes, that's just a bridge too far. And you also, for the record, how could I forget? You also had Van Nothing Burger Jones recently say that Russia and Iran could be behind the reason why black men like Trump. They haven't lived through the past 3 or 4 years or 8 years or whatever, literally lived through 2 different presidencies and made up their mind based on the reality that they're living in. Nope, it's Russian bots batting back at the top of the order. But all that aside, let's see what this guy has to say.
Like this weekend, when they gushed over Donald Trump's new ploy for money, gaudy gold $400 Trump sneakers. And like they always do on Fox, somebody said the quiet part out loud on what the big sneaker strategy is really all about.
Even the sneaker thing. I was on social media last night. Very interesting, as you see black support eroding from Joe Biden. This is connecting with black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal. Certainly in the.
Oh no! Oh, how dare he? How dare he have an opinion about what he thinks black people might like? Meanwhile, everybody on the left side of the aisle is basically fighting over the control of the voting patterns, the brains, the thoughts of black people.
The inner city. So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is above politics. The culture always trumps politics. And Trump understands culture like no politician I've ever seen.
Seriously?
Classic smug media leftist. Ugh, seriously, bro? Yeah, seriously. What's wrong? Why don't you cry about it, bro?
Why didn't I think of this when I ran the RNC? Let's see. Black folks.
Oh, this guy used to be head of the RNC. Okay, so this is a black MSNBC Republican, so that you know that even the Republicans don't like Trump. This is pathetic.
Folks love sneakers, and we can paint them gold. This can't miss. Trust me, it's a big miss. And
Wait. So this is a miscalculation on sneakers is what they're claiming Trump has done, and a miscalculation on race by the Fox News pundit. But I want to make sure I got this clear. These are the same people that Nancy, the Crypt Keeper Pelosi, who was 83 years old, was out on the Senate floor claiming that trans kids belong. You put not one, but two old men in women's army garb and started talking about pronouns and climate change, and that all made sense. But Trump doing a shoe is a sheer miscalculation, and I'm not so sure about that, because what the guy was probably talking about are black people that already like Trump, and I know that's a bridge too far for MSNBC. But if you're a black person and you already like Trump, maybe you like The Apprentice, maybe he was a funny guy, maybe you watch The Roast, maybe it's not political at all because it only became, they only became rabid, anti-Trump, willing to do anything, cut off their nose despite their face to get this guy. But this seems to me, and look, the shoes, fine, the shoes are ugly, I wouldn't wear them, I would like to have them. If anybody out, I'm not going to pay $4,000 for them. I wouldn't even pay $400 for them. But that's beside the point. It's a good piece of history. Also really like the Trump straws. I don't know if you remember that back when he was pushing back on the paper straws. But that aside, I think the shoes are a great idea. It appeals to appeals to everybody. Quite obviously, the sneaker community is very diverse. I know firsthand, right? I've seen it since I was a little kid become this big tent thing. Way back in the day, yeah, I guess it was mostly black people and some Filipino kids or whatever. But now everybody's there. There's hot chicks, there's old ladies, there's, Mexican kids. I mean, it's everybody. So it's not just for black people. But even if it were, so what? This seems perfect to me. Go to the Trump store on 5th Avenue in New York, and they have everything. Golf balls, playing cards, footballs. They pretty much have everything except shoes, I believe. Maybe there's some golf shoes in there. I can't recall. But this seems like another Trump merch muscle flex, right? Joe Biden could never. This seems like the perfect addition to the store that already has everything. And this is a limited edition thing. I don't think this is going to go into the Trump store at Trump Tower on 5th Avenue. But I've gotten so far off track. My point is, this is if we're going to take their premise at face value, then the shoes would likely be for black people that already like Donald Trump. They're gonna say, yeah, I don't mind, this seems pretty cool. If I could get a pair at the retail price of $400, I would gladly do that, but I'm not gonna spend $6,000 on it. Does this man think that the shoes are targeting rabid black leftists who can't stand Trump, orange man, bad nonstop? They're going to say, I hate this guy. But he drops a golden pair of high tops. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm going to drop a bare minimum of $400 on this if I'm lucky. And I'm going to buy a MAGA hat on the way out. It's obviously for people who are already fans. It's just, and you see it. You see, who was it? Peasy, I think. A whole bunch of rappers are like, yeah, obviously Fat Joe with his tattoo beard claiming, I don't like Donald Trump, but this is why I got the sneakers. And Fat Joe is an absolute clown. That's why he's got the fake tattoo beard. But that's a different story. My point is, these people are freaking out and talking about miscalculations because Trump dropped shoes while they're sending out Transformers in ladies' army costume, and that's all okay.
Hello, I'm Admiral Rachel Levine. This Black History Month, I'm pleased to partner with OMH in advancing better health through better understanding for Black communities. Climate change is having a disproportionate effect on the physical and mental health of Black communities.
So, on one hand, the white rule rage, the flyover Americans in the middle of the country will be the reason that Democrats lose in 2024, hopefully. But also, rich white racists on Fox News are also the reason. I mean, I guess bottom line is everything is racist, and these acts of desperation and manipulation and literally pinpointing the reason they believe they will lose, all of the lawfare attacks collapsing, talking heads starting to realize, we can't remove him from the ballot. I guess we're going to actually have to vote this time. All of the hard lefties who are still mad about Gaza and the climate sun monster or whatever leads me to believe there is just no way this works out in favor of the Democrats. Now, the machine is quite strong. They showed us, they literally told us about the shadow campaign that saved the day, the cabal of elites that saved the election. They saved you from yourself in 2020. And I was here in 2020 saying that Bo Biden didn't have a chance. Now, I don't think he did. I think most rational people can agree that there was a little bit of shenanigans in that. Bo Biden just happens to be the most popular president after we've blanketed the entire country with mail-in ballots. But also, most importantly, all of the stone-cold racist, the deplorables, the irredeemables who voted for Trump in 2016 decided that they were no longer racist and they were going to vote for Bo Biden in 2020, making him the most popular president ever. Now, perhaps that's true. Fine, say that happened because at that point in time, we hadn't lived under both presidencies. But now, we've done both. So even if you want to pretend that everything in 2020 was on the level, which it wasn't, but if it was, we have now lived through both, and we can see this very clearly. So if voting is real, if there is any tiny semblance, any stench of sanity left, if we are going to be even remotely realistic, right? If we are going to be anything outside of a good-for-nothing communist banana republic, this cannot continue. You can't continue to send out 60-year-old men dressed up in a ladies' army outfit to tell you that the weather is racist and then cry about sneakers and cry about the large majority of the country in the middle, in flyover country that don't agree with the weirdo tiny hat talking heads on MSNBC telling you that, the champagne socialists I guess I respect it. They can't just roll over and say, all right, we're going to come up with better ideas. And for the record, if the common sense contingent on the right were even half as steadfast as the wacky people who want you to believe a boy can become a girl, then we might not be here. But on the plus side, if this, awakening was not a threat to the establishment, they wouldn't be freaking out at this level, fighting over the brains and votes of black people and calling quite literally every subsect that they've divided, for the record, right? You got gamers, you got the rural voters, you got sneakerheads, you got all of these people, you got the J.K. Rowling fans who they have now been deemed transphobic. So they've separated everybody into these tiny little groups and tried to divide them, but rather than that, they've just alienated all of them, and finally people are starting to say, all right, enough.
You are an excellent emissary in terms of passion, engagement, articulation, all of the things that, make for a good campaigner, though we know you're not running for president yourself.
No chance.
No chance.
Yeah. Who in their mind would want to run when you have someone of such esteem as our incumbent president of the United States, with a record of accomplishments and a man of character, a man of decency?
It's gotta be no, dog.
You still backing Trump? Yeah, of course. It's Trump all day. What you talking about? You know what it is.